All right, here we go for the tube. Say what up, tube.
What up, tube?
What up, tube? All right, last, certainly not least, rescan audio devices for the pod. Ready? In 3 and 2 and 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
Woo! What up, ladies and gentlemen? Hernan C.S. here, host of the Business Bros podcast, along with my co-host,
the insurance bro, James C.S. And as always, we have another spectacular, fun-filled show ready to go, ready to rock and roll it here for you. Welcome to another episode of the Business Bros. On today's show, prepare to learn about a modern-day storyteller who, as a fellow podcaster, is inspired to help others do something we've been talking about a lot so far in 2020, which is, can you guess?
Fire Your Boss.
Fire your boss! Our guest today wants to help you find the drive to take a little extra risk and learn the skills you need to become an entrepreneur in the roaring 2020s. We are super excited to bring to you from the New Age Influencers podcast. Please welcome to the show, Aaron Patton.
Business Bros.
Yo,
What's up, guys?
what's up,
Excited
Aaron?
to be here. It's the definition of myself, so I'm glad to be on this podcast. Man.
Boom!
Fantastic. Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate
A
you.
fellow business bro.
A fellow business bro.
Well, happy hump day, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, I want to remind you guys, 100 blankets and or hoodies, sweaters coming in. We really appreciate it.
You can
we
barely see it.
officially got 5 that came in, shipped in the mail. So I don't care how we get them. You can ship them to us. You can hit up James at 619-884-0045 or James at csfirst.com. He'll hop on his Harley, go out there and pick them up. But 100 is what we're looking for. So if you got them, let us know.
Yeah. I already told everybody at the office too. And keep me accountable. I'm going to start posting stories every day for the rest of the month.
Perfect. I will let you know.
Yep.
I
Keep
will
me
text
accountable.
you. I will text you.
Stories every day telling people we need blankets, we need hoodies, we need to fill that thermometer all the way to the top. 100 by the end of this month.
15
Let's
more,
keep some
16
people
more
warm.
Days, 60 more days. So shout
16 days.
out to Esther Dominguez. She's the one who sent us the ones in package. So thank you very much, Thea. Love you. And next one, James is the insurance guy. So if you guys have any insurance needs, homeowners, autos, workers' comp, general liability, any stuff like that, or maybe you want to add insurance into your business, maybe you have a tax office, mortgage office, we can help you out with that. We'll do all the heavy lifting for you. You sit back, collect commission checks. Just send us the referrals. That's how we operate. 619-884-0045 or James at csfirst.com. Show sponsor for today is dronequote.net. Beautiful sunny San Diego. The sun's shining dollar bills on you. You just need to have the right equipment to catch them dollar bills. DroneCode.net is where you need to go. So DroneCode.net/Business Bros. That's where you start the shopping experience when it comes to solar. Then you sit back. They're going to send a drone over, measure out your rooftop, send it to roofing companies, solar companies. You sit back and pick the quote that works for you. DroneCode.net/Business Bros.
Totally did not put the Casanova Fish Tacos logo on the screen while you were saying that for like a second.
Oh, that's okay. Casanova Fish Tacos is another show sponsor, but it was Drone Code today. Sorry.
Drone Code today. All right.
All right, you ready to rock and roll?
Here we go for the show.
Aaron.
Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. I love the fucking energy. It's great.
Dude, it's
So good.
Every
This is
time
what
the
we do.
switch goes on, dude, it just gets a little
It
more
changes,
exciting,
right?
dude. It does.
Like we were in here, we were chilling, we were just kind of chit-chatting. Like everything was calm and mellow. And then that switch lights up and we're like, whoa!
Dude, well, think about it. So we were talking a little bit before the show. So a little bit of behind the scenes type for the audience. So Aaron's here, and I want to ask him a bunch of questions. There's I want to get to know him, just start talking right away. But it's awkward because I don't want you guys, the audience, to miss out on the conversation. So I'll ask a question, and then I'll stop. Never mind. We'll wait for it. We'll wait just a few minutes. And I know Aaron's sitting back there trying to say some stuff too. We were having a good TikTok conversation.
We were having a great TikTok conversation, and as a podcaster, it's hard to understand how long you should actually talk before you actually hit record. So.
Yeah, because the good stuff comes out when it's just natural, right?
Yep.
When you don't have to worry about it, that's when the natural stuff comes out. All right, so in a couple years, you wanna help enough people fire their bosses, right?
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit about your podcast.
I just want to inspire people to live a little differently. It's all the rage to get into online business. It's like the cool thing to do, but a lot of people go about it the wrong way. So I'm trying to influence and impact people to do it the right way through storytelling. So every single week I'm talking to influencers, social media people that are in the trenches actually living the shit and not just teaching it from a textbook. So that's what I want to do. I want to inspire people to take action, imperfect action, and then reevaluate and keep going.
Right, assess, analyze, fail forward. Dude, here's my biggest thing. anytime people start something, right? They hop on the horse. They're like, cool, this is going to be awesome. Then, something happens. They hit a road bump, boom, they fall off. And then they're like, oh, that sucked. And they kind of walk away and quit. Like, what inspired you to keep moving in that forward direction? I mean, I'm sure you didn't have it all figured out when you first got started.
Absolutely not. I was in the corporate software sales world for about 7 years, and I hit a wall when I hit my upper 20s. I was like, if I'm going to continue to have these conversations slanging this type of software, it was financial-based expense report software. It wasn't anything fancy. I was like, I'm not going to be a happy person in 10 years if I keep doing this. So like, I need to switch my shit up. And I'm the type of person that really enjoys risk-taking. So honestly, I quit my job kind of on a whim, started playing poker since I have a really serious hobby of playing poker.
Sick.
And I can get more into that, but that did not work out full time. I also realized I didn't want to be in a fucking casino 7 days a week, grinding it out with Old Man River over here in the morning. Like I did not want to do that shit. But a couple things happened, and I started getting into the world of social media. And I was like, I really like poker because I get to talk to so many different diverse types of people, learn the stories. It's the only place where people can come together and do one thing, like completely different backgrounds, like a young Asian kid with an old grandma with a VP of a corporate company, all at the same place. I was like, I like talking to these people, learning their stories. So how can I apply that to a more positive and productive manner? And so I started a podcast, and I've been loving it.
Yeah, you got a very similar story to mine. I used to do the poker thing myself back when like the World Series of Poker started getting really hot. Like at that point I was like, dude, I should start doing this, right? I started playing online poker. Then I went to the casino, started playing in the casinos. I started off, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bankroll myself. I'm gonna put like $300. I'm gonna start off with that, and I'll see where it happens. And dude, I got it up to like $3-4 grand. It was awesome. This dude was in the Navy at the time. And I had that tin right there that has those $100 bills sticking out right there, right behind you.
Okay,
so
in memoriam,
right? And so, but that was like my where I hid my stuff, right? So I had it, and I remember he came down and he was like, "Hey, what are we gonna do today?" I was like, "I don't know, dude. I'm gonna go to the casino and make some money today." He's like, "I go, whatever you want to do." I go, just open it up and. Whoop, you pay me? Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So I go, just open up the thing, grab like a $100 bill or two, whatever, and like go. You do whatever you need to do, and I'll meet up with you in a few hours. But it was awesome at that point. But I was living on my own. I was kind of roommating with somebody at the time because that was like right after I went broke, like closed the business and everything. So that's how I was surviving. I was playing poker.
Wow. Okay. I did not know. So we have some similar endeavors here. So actually I started on Instagram really by posting every single poker session that I played publicly online, wins or losses.
Oh.
So on Instagram, I have my own poker Instagram. I do a ton of fucking Instagram, but I have my own poker Instagram, and I was documenting it all. And the first 100 sessions I did anonymous, and I would recap my sessions and like talk about the feelings of what I was doing, like during the session after it, like hands that I got screwed over or won. And then I did like a face reveal session 101. And then from there, people knew who I was, but I still started posting. But it just wasn't, as lucrative as I needed it to be to actually do something. So I was like, I can't just drive my bank account into the damn ground here. Like, I got to do something.
You got to survive. Yeah. Well, I had minimal expenses. So I literally, I was surviving. I only needed like $800 a month at that time to like survive. So that was manageable in a month. The problem was like, I would always set myself, I would take like an X amount of dollars, right? I got to a point where I was like taking like $400, and I was doing like 2 or 3 buy-ins depending on where I was playing, and that was it. Like if I lost that day, it was over. Oh, you're good. If I lost that day, it was over. But I would set a top limit too. All I had to do was win $300, and then I would walk out that day. It didn't matter whether I won a pot that very first hand I sat down and won $300. I walked out the door, because in a casino you don't win till you walk out, right?
Exactly.
So that was the goal. I would go in, win, walk out, or lose and walk out, and that was it.
Hernan, if I would have done that, I guarantee I would have been way more profitable, because I would always stay at that motherfucker for so long. And sometimes I would, run it up to a couple $1,000 and walk away so happy. But most of the time I would start up, and then I would just go back down and then try to get out, and then go down more. Like, it's just so hard.
But dude, that feeling you get like when that risk comes out, like that same feeling I still get today with everything that we do. Like an idea will pop into your head, and you're like, I need to execute this. And there's all this excitement behind it. There's all this like enthusiasm, kind of like when you get that very first hand that you get dealt, the 2 cards, you're looking at them, you're like, this is gonna be sick.
This is it, baby.
This is it. And you don't always know that it's gonna happen, right? The cards may lay a different way. You might get,
it's like when you get a king and a 2, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, great.
All in.
Right off the top. But that's what happens, right? You look at those first 2 cards and you get super excited and you know what's going on. Business is the same type of way. You have this idea in your head and you're excited. You start implementing, and even though you might have the best hand at the beginning, doesn't mean that it's gonna be the best hand at the end. And
so true. And I'm just a huge risk junkie, so it appeals to me, the game of poker, and then also business and entrepreneurship. That's appealed to me, and I'm just getting going with all that. But it's been a fun ride so far. I've had a lot of fun in the last couple of years, and I don't plan on stopping. So
tell me a little bit about what kind of stuff are you putting on your podcast, as far as like what are we teaching people as far as risk taking or doing the influencer route?
Yeah, it's mindset, motivation, and then practical tips to apply to people's everyday lives. So every single story is different. Every single influencer that I talk to on Mondays is different. So this past interview this week was Mikey Taylor. He went from pro skateboarder to real estate entrepreneur. It runs the gamut. I've had like Zach Holmes. He does he's the new generation jackass. His show launched on MTV. A couple other big people. We're doing entertainers, comedians, business people, branders, speakers. Like, it just runs the gamut on what they have. But every single one of them, there's consistency to what they say as far as mindset, taking action, keeping going, and it's something that you can repeat and give back to the audience, but in a different way every week. So it's different but the same, and I think that's important for people to understand.
I love the interview process. Like,
it's
how
amazing.
much have you learned from the people, and how much has it shaped you as an individual?
I was just talking to a buddy the other day. I was like, man, dude, if I had started this podcast back in my early 20s, I'd be a grand fucking master of the world, I think. Like, honestly, like, I've learned way more in the last year interviewing these people who have made it to certain levels of success than I have in the previous 10 years combined of like schooling, college, and all that. Granted, I'm not going to say that I didn't learn anything in high school, college. You know, you learn how to work together and projects and all this stuff, but like just true real life shit.
Yeah.
This is where it's at.
Not just that, like people have experienced things, made mistakes, and like, it's surprising. It surprised me anyways. Like, when I sit down with them, how willing they are to share these stories. Like,
willing,
dude. Back in the day, if I wanted to know something, right? I mean, I don't know how old are you?
32.
Okay, so you're close enough, right? So like, when I was growing up, if I wanted to know something, I had to look it up in the encyclopedia, right? Internet wasn't like a thing. It didn't really start pushing until I was like in high school. Then AOL happened, and we started opening up, right? But finding these people, like being able to get in contact with somebody who had some sort of experience, was difficult. Like, how was I supposed to learn from somebody if I couldn't even, like, what was I supposed to find them in the white pages? It didn't exist.
The middleman's cut out. You don't have to go through any assistance. You can actually find people and you can message them, and you know that they have the opportunity to see your DM. You know, if you're DMing Oprah or Grant Cardone or someone, chances are they're never going to see it, but like, they have the opportunity to if they go in their DMs and scroll and then maybe hit on one random message. But like, anyone's accessible. It doesn't have to be just the big time people. Like, you can reach out to anyone, anywhere, and that's truly amazing.
How important is it today to have something like a podcast?
I say it's the greatest hack in modern society to start business in anything that you want to do. Like, in any industry or any niche that you're interested in, you can start a podcast, and then you have a legitimate reason to reach out to everyone who's made something of themselves or semi-successful or going in the right direction in that industry, and you can just align yourself with them. It's called authority alignment. When you align yourself with enough authoritative people, you're going to start to think like them, become like them, and eventually you're going to get to some sort of semblance of where they are at some point if you just keep going.
Do I have to do it every day?
You don't have to do it every day, but it certainly helps. Get that Gary Vee shit. I know you guys do it you do a podcast episode every weekday. Like, that's impressive as hell. Very impressive.
It is, but and the thing about it is we're psycho crazy dudes. Like, we'll put that out, but you don't have to. My thing to other people is you don't have to do it every day, and you don't have to get all, you don't have to have the headphones, you don't have to have the mic now. Like, you can do it directly from your phone. You can do a little vlog video. You can post content. It doesn't even have to be officially a podcast that you put out on Spotify and iTunes and like that. It's just being able to put out your content on a regular basis to build a brand, but consistently. Right? When you say you're going to do it on this day or this weekday or whatever it's going to be, that you consistently put out that information.
Yeah, I was just talking to my people. I've been starting a little membership group, and I was just talking about how the whole mentality is like you got to think like your own Netflix TV show. Like you don't have to be that hardcore about it, but like you need to put out consistent content. You need to have a message. You need to have a target demographic to start, and make sure that it's repeatable and something you have fun doing. Because if you don't have fun doing it, you're not going to stick with it. If you don't stick with it, you're going to get nowhere. So you got to stick with it and have fun.
Tell me about the continuity, about the membership. What are you working on there?
So I actually said to myself, so the podcast, my podcast, A New Age Influencers, is about a year and 2 months old. And so I said to myself when I started it, I was going to do it for a year without trying to do any monetization to make any money whatsoever. Just so I can make sure that I like doing it for no money. Because if I can like doing it for no money, and sure as shit, I can do it for money.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that point hit last November or October. And so this year is my first step into really trying to make some money through adding value to other people as far as how to actually go through the process of establishing an online business or brand the right way. Pretty much like I think of it as myself, as I've been feasting at this online business buffet for the last year, and I'm just going to grab all the best shit and put it on a plate and lay it out for people in an easy to consume manner, like from stage 1 to stage whatever, and people can join the membership. They can evaluate and define where they are on the success path, and then they can see what they need to do to get to the next steps. And based on what they want to do, whether they want to be a consultant or whether they want to run a membership business or just improve their online presence or brand for their 9 to 5, like be better at their real estate job or stock or whatever like it is, just allow them the opportunity to get the information in a diced down, easy to consume manner, from all the experts that I've talked to, the thousands of notes and hours that I've gone over doing it. So instead of going back and listening to the 70 plus interview episodes, which they certainly can for free, or they can just pay a little monthly fee and then get it all given right to them on a silver platter.
Do you do Q&As and stuff with them too?
Yeah, so this I'm just starting it out. It's in a test phase right now. So I have like 130 people in a test group where I'm going to provide the content and all of it for free for them. And then I'm going to start charging in the spring. And hopefully I'm going to test out and get some feedback from the people. And they're going to be able to get it free forever. Unfortunately, it's closed, but it will open in for the public in spring. And it's going to be a good time.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing something similar. Building. So at Eastlake, I teach a course called Financial Algebra, right? So I teach kids, like opening bank accounts and buying a home, that sort of stuff. And every time I sit with them at the beginning of the year, them and their parents, and I explain what the course is, the parents are always doing the same thing. They're like, man, I wish I had a course like that when I was in high school. And then inevitably you get the other person in the back going, man, I wish I had a course right now. Right? And so, my wife was like, you should actually put that course together, put it online and sell that course. I was like, damn, babe, you're a genius. Yeah, I should do that. And so, that membership idea started to brew in my head. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start working on that.
And the reason I just love that model so much after talking about all these different models with all these different people is just because not only is the subscription economy blowing up, like, Spotify, Amazon, like we are all subscribed to at least probably 10 vendors on a monthly basis, but people understand it and they understand what it's supposed to be like. But it also helps people actually implement the information learned. Like if you sell a course, that's fine, but then people are going to consume it. And a lot of times people are just going to let it sit and not actually take action on what they've learned. So if you're doing like a subscription model or membership where you are actually talking to them every single week, holding them accountable, hey, Dan, hey, Sarah, how's your new Instagram account going? How are you doing, like trying to get some consulting clients? Like, how is that going for you? And they're going to be like, well, I didn't do anything last week. And it's like, well, no wonder you're still working at your office. Like, you got to hold them accountable. And so speed of implementation is huge. That's what people care about. People are kind of getting numb to just the people that are pushing, the info products and the knowledge products. They want to be held accountable and actually make progress. So if you can position yourself as a person to help them do that as a guide, then you're going to be able to win with them. You're not going to win unless they win. So you got to make sure that your people win in whatever you're doing, whoever you're selling, your clients, your people.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge because you're right. The info products, I think of it like a gym membership. Like you have a gym membership because you intended to go to the gym.
Exactly.
But a lot of people fall off that wagon.
Right.
But if there's somebody like for me, we have I guess it's like a 5 a.m. club. When we hit the gym, there's people that, I'm required. Well, I made myself required to take a picture. Mm-hmm. I don't take a picture of myself, but I take a picture at the gym. Right. And then I tag the people that I know have asked to be held accountable for going to the gym in the morning. And Do they go? I don't 100% know if all of them go or not. But the point is, they've been hit with that accountability thing. Now it's like, somebody's watching. I got dinged again. Damn it, I should go. And then just pushing people to go to that next phase.
Yeah, because most people need that extra push in this economy. There's so much information. There's so much noise. Like, you can get distracted so easily. Like, you need someone to help you focus. And if you don't need someone, then more power to you. Like, just consume the information and do it yourself. But a lot of people are going to need some help, especially because they don't know what to do and they don't know how to do it. So if you can provide a value or a service like in a certain industry that people care about where they need that help, then you're going to be in a good position in the future.
All right. As a fellow content creator, so this is what I started doing. So we have this show that we do every single day at 4 o'clock, right? But I started and Someone's got good timing with that.
I totally don't even have my script up yet. I had to stop it in the middle.
It was a perfect spot. Okay,
it was.
I got you.
All right. The time is 20 minutes and 33 seconds. We interrupt today's regularly scheduled #1 podcast in San Diego for a purely selfish, completely irreverent, sell-out cash grab word from our sponsor. Hernan, what are we selling today?
Solar, ladies and gentlemen. The sun is out. It's already pouring money. You just don't have the right equipment to catch it. It's like you're in the outfield and no glove. So you guys got to go to drumquote.net/business bros. It's how we get the solar process started, right? They're not a solar company. They're just going to help you hook up with a bunch of different solar companies so that you can choose the one that's best for you. drumquote.net/business bros. Enter your information. They're going to send a drone to your home, take pictures of your rooftop, send it to roofing companies, send it to solar companies. You sit back and look at the quote, pick the one that works for you. Now you got a glove in the outfield catching those sun rays and turning them into dollars. drumquote.net/business bros with 1 O.
With 1 O. And while we're on the subject of promoting things, there is something that I actually want to promote. 2 things. First of all, fill this thermometer, ladies and gentlemen. 100 hoodies and blankets. Got to get those going. Secondly, Invictus Advisors is going to match donations up to $500. We have our Invictus Advisors weekly series that's going on right now. Tomorrow is week 3, and we're talking Shark Tank, which is really excited because we have Vidal, the Shark CFO, Espinosa, who's been dropping knowledge on us for the past couple of weeks. So the Invictus Advisors are going to be back on tomorrow, and anybody who's donating these hoodies and blankets, if you can't donate the hoodies and blankets, you want to donate some money, Invictus Advisors is matching donations up to $500.
Oh, you heard it here first.
All right, so that being said, and now back to the #1 podcast in San Diego, the Business Bros Pod.
All right, so now what I was gonna ask you,
as you were saying,
so we have the show that we do in the afternoon, right? And so and it goes on Facebook Live, which is awesome. We create pieces of content which go on other places, but I've been kind of ignoring posting stuff on Instagram. Like, I was doing really good at posting stories and stuff, so I wanted to get back onto Instagram. So what did I do? I started a morning show, and it has nothing to do with business. I just want to hop on from the moment I leave my house to when I get to school. It's about a 15-20 minute drive. Hop on the Instagram Live, and I'm shouting out to people like, hey, what's going on? Tell me about your day. What are you trying to conquer? What did you fail at? What did you want to succeed at? And we've only done 2 days, but I've already had somebody hop on the show. Shout out to Jackie. She hopped on the show today, kind of shared stuff. And it's just that same type of thing. Like, how do I get more information? How do I get more value out there to engage with my audience? What do you think of that? Is that like off the rails? Is that different? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think when you're first starting out, I think it's important to focus on maybe 1 or 2 platforms you can go all in on. It's better to be really good at a couple than to be kind of mediocre at all. So when you're starting out, I think it's really important, pick Instagram or Twitter or Pinterest or wherever your core audience is, spending time on the most, and then go in on that for a while and then start to branch out. Definitely create accounts and everything in all the spaces, but you don't have to post once a day for every single platform of all time. Like, that would be so hard. Like,
it is time consuming.
That Gary Vee shit is hard to do. Like, it's, he's kind of an anomaly, but if you can do it, more power to you. But I would say go all in on one platform. And the other thing, is just when content comes down to two paths. It's niche content and then broad content. So niche content, you're talking about your real estate or your stocks or your, whatever your specialty is, your fitness, like you're doing that, but then you don't want to just be known for that. And if you are, then you're going to limit yourself. So you want to, this is where personal branding comes into play. So if you're posting general content as well, like you taking your daughter or son to school, showing people that they can relate to you, like you're a regular person, like doing regular things, so they can relate and humanize yourself on a regular level, and not just be the business bro, but you're also the dad and the guy that's going to school and driving and doing all this regular stuff too. Like, I think it's important to have a dynamic of both. And I think a lot of people mess up because they're either posting too much broad content, not enough niche content, or too much niche content, not enough broad content.
That's good. That's and I always wonder about that, because there's a bunch of different things, and I wonder how these rules become rules, right? Like, is it a rule or is it a guideline, right? Meant to be broken? Is it like social media law that you're not supposed to do this, or is it just like this guy said it and so that's how it's going to be? You know what I mean?
There's definitely no law. There's no right way to do anything. But it's something where you should be conscious about it. And it's not like, oh, I did niche here, so I need to do broad now to match it. It's like, no, just make sure you have a little, you dip your hands in both. And just be aware that you should be. Like, I catch myself sometimes where I'm just posting throughout my day and like just regular stuff. And I was like, damn, I got to get some type of podcast content in here today. I just like, it goes off as a light bulb to me. And then sometimes I'm just like promoting the podcast and all this shit so hard. I was like, damn, people might be getting a little tired of this today. I'm going to post me fucking around in the basketball court or like whatever.
Well, here's something about that too. Like, so who says that people are getting fed up with that? Like, I wonder, because I know I'm scrolling through the feed and there's people that, and I have a lot of real estate agents that post houses, and sometimes I'm like, ooh, that's an interesting house. Yeah. And I know this person's been posting nothing but open house, open house, open house, right? I know that's what's there, but every once in a while I stop and I look anyways, right? Mm-hmm. Do I consciously think, oh, that guy's putting out another open house? Like, I don't actually think that, but I know that they're probably thinking that of themselves. And I wonder how much are you blocking yourself from putting out content because you think, well, they quote unquote, they are, getting tired of me.
Yeah. So I made a conscious decision. I think it was like interview, I don't know, 30 or 35. I think it was with Jason Capital. And he said something really that resonated with me. It's like, you're working out when you're posting on social media. You're not give a fuck muscle. So I've been working that out for so long. I just post and I don't care. But I always consciously keep in mind, like, how is this affecting someone else's thought about themselves or about what's happening? Like, I keep that in the back of my mind because I always want the content to, either entertain the person, inspire them, educate them, or relate in some way. And if it's not doing one of those four things, then I probably shouldn't be posting it. In my mind, that's what I say. A lot of people don't consciously think about that, but I think that's where, certain people, are able to grow more of an audience, because every single time you post, if you are educating, inspiring, and doing what I just said, and it's better for the audience. And
here's my side of it, right? So yes, I agree with that. That's like bringing value, right? That's how you're gonna grow your audience faster and have people who are like loyal to you, right? But then on the other side, I think, like, in real life, there are people who are attracted to me because of my personality, right? And there are people who just really don't want anything to do with me. Absolutely. Same type of thing. So I keep thinking to myself, I'm just going to be me every single time, right? This is who I am. This is, like it or not. Like, if you talk to me in real life, guess what? I'm probably going to end up gearing the discussion somewhere in the business realm anyways, because that's where I live in my mind. So this is who I'm going to be. But do I have fun? Yeah. Like, yesterday I was playing Vader Immortal, my son's, Oculus Quest, because it just came in, right? So I have this TikTok in my drafts of me like looking like an idiot with Vader Immortal, and that's okay, right? That's okay.
Oh, that's completely okay, and that falls into the relatable category. So when you're just being you, that's relatable because you're a human being. At least I think so.
Yeah. Last time I checked, right? I still bleed.
So if you're just posting stuff that you're doing, stuff that you're saying, like, you don't have to consciously really think about it. You just do it because it's you. And if you build up your personal brand, like, you don't have to actively think about, oh, I want to build up my personal brand. But like, that's what you're doing when you just share. I posted yesterday. It's like, personal branding, all it is just being willing to share more. Like, that's it. So that you can reach out to people that are not in your inner circle of family and friends. That is all that it is. It's just being known by more people. It's not you knowing more people. It's being known by more people.
All right. I want to go back a little bit. Right.
Sure.
So you left a corporate job with no idea really of how you were going to move forward. I want you to take me to like that epiphany moment that you had where you were like, this is it, I'm done? Like, tell me a little bit of story about how that happened. What was that experience like?
I got 2 moments for you. So leading up to my eventual exit of the corporate life, I was building up some different types of accounts online, just experimenting. And I was in this one Instagram engagement group with Supreme Patty. I don't know if you know that guy on Instagram, but he went from like 10,000 followers. Now he's at like 7.5 mil. And he blew up in a year to like 2 million. And then I was like, this is so powerful. Like I saw that happen. Like I was having conversations with him. Now he's too big time. He's not talking to anyone. But like I saw that. So I saw the power of that. So I was like, this internet has got it going on. And then I started listening to a lot of Gary Vee. And that was in my head just like a little tick in the back of my head. Like Gary Vee tick. That's what he does. That's what he does. That's what he does. But I love it. Like he's right almost all the time. Like it's just like he just is.
Because it's simple.
Yeah, it's just simple and he's just relatable. And then the second moment was I was working on this big deal. I've been working at this company for like 3 years, and I had been working that deal in Canada. It was like a construction company for 3 years, and I was gung-ho about it. I was going to make like, I don't know, $50,000, $60,000 commission check if I closed it. And they ended up going with a competitor, and I was like, fuck this.
Aha moment. That's what it was, right?
But honestly, it might be a blessing in disguise, because if I had gotten that check, I may still be in the corporate life, and I probably would be just fine, but I would probably, eventually still come to the conclusion that I don't like what I'm doing, and it would just be elongated.
Years
like my
down the road,
timeline would be longer. And so I think that you can't have any regrets, but you have to be thankful for what you went through to get you where you are now. But that's the 2 moments for me, for sure.
Dude, that does suck. But like even today, you're in your own space now. You're hunting your own accounts now, essentially, right? Through clients and through trials and errors and all that stuff. You're still going to inevitably come across those big accounts that you drop. How are you going to handle with that stress?
Well, so in this capacity, yes, but also no, because I'm going to be going after not really big businesses, but more individual on an individual level to help them in their personal lives become more solo entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. So it's not going to be like I'm going to be hunting huge businesses, but yeah, I've been hunting huge influencers, which is,
same type of thing.
Yeah, it's similar. But yeah, it's starting to. I wanted to position myself this year to actually sell for myself, so I can reach out to people and sell. And instead of taking, fucking 15% commission on the deal, obviously I get the whole deal now and like just get it.
It's all you. So tell me about like how are you hunting these bigger influencers? Like, how do you find them? What is it just a 1 DM type thing? Like, what is your process to getting them on your show?
Yeah, if it was the 1 DM thing, I think everyone would do it. Sure as shit, it's not a 1 DM thing. In the beginning, it was much harder than it is now because I've done it for a year now. It's like 60 interviews out. So people can go back and they can scroll through and see, oh, this is a legit podcast. He's had people on, decent, big-time people, so I'll come on. But like in the beginning, it was reaching out and just applying my sales process in the corporate world to the sales process in the DMs on Instagram. So making a spreadsheet of all the target accounts or people that I want, sending them DMs, emails, keeping track of if they opened it or not, following up with them every single week. And then eventually I got like 8 or 9 that said yes to be on the show in the beginning. And I launched with 7 or 8. I launched with 3 episodes, but then I had a bank of like 8 episodes. And then I just kept reaching out and building up, and that's it. But yeah, I mean, like reaching out to 100 people when I first start, and these are all like decent influencers, and I have no, social proof built up yet. So I'm pitching them a concept, maybe reach out to 100, maybe 10 say they're down, and then maybe 3 say they're ready to interview, and then maybe 1 show up. So shit's hard in the beginning.
Yeah.
And if you're not in sales or not coming from a sales background, that'll be very hard to do. For this specific
prospecting,
thing.
right?
Yeah, prospecting. Like,
it never ends. Like nobody loves to do it.
Nobody loves it, and sales is part of life, no matter what you do. But I think if you come from a sales background, you understand the rejection and you kind of seek it. So like that's the mentality I've always had.
Well, how'd you get into sales? Like, was it something that you just like kind of stepped into, or were you just like naturally like you've been doing it since day one?
Definitely, I just took the first job I got in 2010. That was up in DC. It was actually for a building materials company, and they gave me the worst fucking car. You know that the Ford Flex. You know that Ford Flex? It's like alongside. I had building materials in the back of it. I was driving around DC, which DC is fucked up. Like if you go one way at one time, it's different. It's a different one-way street at a different time. Like it's very hard to drive in DC. But yeah, I had that. And then with the housing crunch, they actually shut down our satellite office. It was in Herndon, Virginia. And then I had to find a different job. I ended up finding a job at a PR software firm, met a lot of cool people, young people, my friends still to this day, and just been leveling up at each company since. I worked at like 5 different companies, all great companies, all great culture. But I think that's part of it. Like they develop great culture and really, good comp plans and commission structures to keep you there, right?
Yeah.
To keep you there. Like,
that's the whole point. They train you. They put the effort in.
They want you there. And it's a great gig for a lot of people, but you'll never be able to truly ascend to the levels you want to ascend to if you're working for someone else. And that's the bottom line. And some people will never want to ever work for, themselves or whatever, and that's completely fine. But if you're like complaining and tired, like Gary Vee always says, and you need to do something different, then change that shit up.
Yeah.
Or start taking steps. Just start listening to a podcast at work.
Yeah.
Screw it.
Anything, right? You're still gonna get paid anyways. You're an hourly.
Yeah. Whatever.
So, well, let me ask you this: like, everybody has a different idea of what success looks like, what kind of business they want to build. Are you looking to build something that you're 100% in control, don't have to have anybody else that you manage, or are you looking to build something that you have 100 people in staff or whatever?
Hell no, I don't want 100 staff. Or like I do not want to wake up and have to go somewhere and like run a 200-person company. That is not a goal of mine at all. It's more the solopreneur route where maybe I'll have a team of virtual assistants and whatever, and that'll be fine. But it is, I define success for myself as like doing what I want to do when I want to do it with who I want to do it with, and that's success to me. And if I can afford to do that, like travel and still do that, like that's success to me. Like no matter what, whether I'm making 50 grand or 500 grand or 5 million. Like if for me, if I'm happy and living a lifestyle where I can actually do things I want to do and not have a timetable on it, that's what I want.
And who does Aaron have to become in order for that to be successful? Like, are you there yet? Have you developed into that person, or do you think you still have some
Hell
stuff
no,
you
I'm
work
not
on?
there yet. So I've just been a bricklayer for the last year. I've just been laying bricks. I've been trying to dig out the trenches, and this year 2020 is the first year I'll actually try to start building the first level. And by building the first level, I mean actually making some decent cash. And it's probably not going to, actually I know it's not going to go as smoothly as I think it's going to go, but I think I've set up a good foundation and I have the sales acumen where I can actually make it work eventually. If I don't make it work fast enough, I don't have a big ego. I'll go back to the fucking workforce for a little bit. Like I may have to do a little lying about in the interview, but whatever. Like I'll go back and get a job and supplement it, but I'm really hoping it doesn't come to that. But I think that I'm positioned well to not have to do that.
Nice, dude. I mean, at least like you're aware of who you are, what it is you want to achieve, and like any of those flaws that you have to get there, right? Like you might have some sore hands after laying that many bricks, but you can stand back after a while and look, I've laid a foundation. Like this is not just an empty lot anymore. I have something here, and now it's time to build upon it. And that's a big step, because like I told you, man, like the 7 podcast episode, that's where people fall off. Like everybody's like, yeah, I'm gonna start a podcast, cool. And they do like 7 episodes, and then life gets in the way. Something happens, and they skip here and skip there, and then it never goes anywhere. You're 70 in.
Yeah, that's why you gotta do something that you actually lights you up a little bit. Like you got to be happy doing it for no money. And I run a mindset account on Instagram. It's called New Age Mindsets. It kind of goes along with the podcast. And I just posted a story the other day of Stan Lee, who passed away. He's the Marvel guy, but he's got tons of great quotes. And I posted, and he's like,
Excelsior.
Exactly. Like he's like, I only think people can do their best work if they're doing work they want to do and how they think it should be done.
That's funny.
If you're doing the best work that you think you're doing, like that's how you make it work.
Yeah, and I believe the same thing about education, right? Like if you don't want to learn something, that's one of the big things that really troubles me. Like I was telling you about my last class, I didn't want to listen or learn about what we were doing, and it's like one of those things where I'm like, I can't force people to want to learn something. I need to rearrange whatever it is I'm doing so that they buy in. Without buy-in, they're never going to get anywhere. And that's the same thing with any type of job or any type of entrepreneurship that you want to go to. If you don't believe in what you're doing, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're going to burn out. Because it is a lot of work. It is tedious. You're calling people every single day. You're emailing, you're DMing, you're posting, you're editing, you're doing all kinds of stuff. And if you don't enjoy what you're doing, that fire is going to burn out.
It's going to burn out. And yeah, to change what you're doing, you have to change your mind first. That's why I run the mindset account, to let people take the first step, because a lot of people say they're going to do stuff, or it's 2020, the new decade, I'm going to do this, but they don't actually believe it yet. And if you don't intrinsically believe anything's going to happen, then you're never going to make your body take the actions to make it happen.
Dude, take a look at this camera. Tell people how to get a hold of you.
What's up, guys? Aaron B. Patton on Instagram. I post a lot of crazy stuff there, and then you can get to all my other accounts from that profile, and then aaronbpatton.com. So it's going to be a lot of fun this year. I'm excited about the year.
Can they find you on TikTok? Same handle?
You can find me on TikTok. Don't judge me by my TikToks. But actually, later today on Instagram, I'll be doing a TikTok vote, and it'll be me dancing some crazy shit with a samurai sword and whatnot. So, like, you tune in for that. It's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
Or so bad that it's all right or good. I don't know.
Well, when it's bad, it could be really good too.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
So it's all right. It works out.
That's what I mean.
Get them on the For You page. Woo! All right, ladies and gents. A quick reminder: 100 sweaters or blankets. That's what we're looking for. So if you guys got them, I know you got some stuff in your closet. Christmas just came. You're trying to empty some stuff out. We'll take the hoodies. We'll take the sweaters. We'll take the blankets right off your hands. Help out the homeless here in San Diego. It's getting cold at night, so every little donation counts. James is the insurance bro. So Pipeline Insurance is what we're here to help you. 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com, helping you out with all your insurance needs, homeowners, general liability, workers' comp, whatever it is you need. Or maybe you want to add insurance into your business. We can help you out with that. dronequote.net/business bros is our show sponsor for today. That's where you start your solar shopping experience. Sun rays dropping down money. You just don't have a glove enough to catch it. That's the solar panels. dronequote.net/business bros. You had an O.
No, it was just a
ooh. Okay, all right.
It was
Aaron.
an ooh, not an O.
Oh, okay. Aaron, man, thanks for coming on the show, dude.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for sharing, dude. I mean, it's always fun to talk to a fellow podcaster. Always have the same mirrored energy. It's cool, man. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing and watching you develop your course. And, dude, kudos, much success. That sales skill, that sales training that you put, the stuff that you implement, it's going to take you places, dude.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. San Diego podcaster gang. Let's get it.
Right? Get it. That's right.
Get it.
Dude, we should do meetups and stuff like that for podcasters, dude.
Pat Flynn has a meetup. I just joined that.
No way.
He has a meetup. I just joined that Facebook group. You should definitely join
I'm definitely going to hit, dude.
Send us an invite.
Yeah, send me an invite. Yeah, for sure. Because that's something that, like, we're such a, like, the ones who actually continue to do stuff, like it's actually a small community. There's a lot of podcasts, but the ones that continue for a long period of time and have those number of episodes, like there's few. And if you're like us, we didn't know what the hell we were doing when we got into this space. You know what I mean? We're just figuring it out as we go.
Just taking action,
and if
baby.
there's other people who are doing it, I mean, everybody has their cool little hacks and little ideas. So, you know, I think
it's like the first Wednesday of every month. I haven't been to a meeting yet. I just joined it. So, like, I'll probably go for the first time next month. So, yeah, I'll hit you guys up.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know. All right, ladies and gents, that's all we got for you guys. Thanks for showing up on Facebook. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.
And that's the ball game. Thank you, Facebook. We love you so much.